33%. I am controlling the Nanlite Pavo Slim. It's right above me. I'm trying to test out some lighting. 大家好, ¿Cómo está? My name is Victor, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the new Viltrox 27mm f1.2 for the E-mount. They just released this for the E-mount. They released it for the X-mount maybe a couple months back. A few of my friends have it already. This is a very, very beautiful lens, and I think Viltrox really did it with their Pro version of the lenses. Now, these are for APS-C, and it matches perfectly with the Sony A6700. So let's get started with my findings. I just want to walk through every single thing that I found with this lens. The chromatic aberration at 1.2 is pretty good. Usually when a budget, or at least a company that offers a budget version and it's a fast prime lens, the performance at 1.2 is going to be atrocious. Nightwalkers. The Sirui Nightwalkers at 1.2, T1.2, and even with the Sniper, they didn't send me the units because I'm way too honest with their lenses. The chromatic aberration is pretty bad, but with the Viltrox, it's quite good. I've tested it out at f2 as well. You can see just minimal chromatic aberration. Obviously, you're at a prime lens, and at its price point, it does really good. Now, if we switch it to f4, this is where we kind of don't see it anymore. Like if you notice it, you're probably pixel peeping. But if you're looking at someone's photo, or if you're looking at someone's video and you notice these little things, then you might be just pixel peeping. You might even like the chromatic aberration because it's so slight and that it might add character to your photography or videography thingy. Chromatic aberration also shows in the highlights, especially if there's a hard contrast. So I shot this Gundam and made sure that the light is coming from the back. On the shoulders, you can definitely tell that the chromatic aberration is there. There's the teal fringing and then the purple fringing on the head. And we're just gonna go back to the Saber. And what we see here at 1.2 is still fairly acceptable. But for me, if I'm looking for a clean lens, I'd have to fix that in post. And this is a video as well, so it's going to be harder for us than photos. There are plugins and there are effects that cleans this up, especially on DaVinci Resolve. But to me, this is a little bit too much on the chromatic aberration. Usually, again, I see this on very bright backgrounds, and then you can see kind of like the corners of it. And f2, it gets better, and then at f4, it's practically gone. And I've compared it to these two lenses. This is the Sigma 24-70 2.8, and I practically matched it with that at 2.8. Kind of like the same focal length, 27mm, and I just wanted to see it as well on the 16mm FE version. This is the Viltrox, one of the best lenses they've made recently this year, and I've been using this a lot, especially for my professional work as well. This is my wide angle lens that I go to because it's at f1.8 and a 16mm full frame. It's really wide. Even though it's not the same focal length, I wanted to see if Viltrox made it similar colors. I know these are photography lenses, but it would be a plus, and I'm just curious if they do match color casts. So here's the image on the Viltrox 27mm, and I've just put random things on here with different colors. I don't have a color chart, so this is the best that I can show, kind of like the different color casts. And then this is the Sigma 24mm to 70mm. And finally, this is the Viltrox 16mm compared to the 27mm f1.2. I put the Sigma in there because it's kind of like my most neutral lens. It can do everything, and I find pleasing skin tones on this one. So let's compare it with the Viltrox 27mm for skin tones and see how you guys like it. Because the lens doesn't have a lens stabilization, I had to rely on the active stabilization on the A6700. Okay, with active stabilization on, this is on auto, that's passable. I'm just shifting my weight left and right, and seeing if I can produce a fairly steady image. I mean, it looks like a natural handheld look, and this passes. I like this lens, especially for the focal length. It's equivalent to 35mm because we have to do the crop factor on the A6700. So this would be a very versatile lens at f1.2. And the focus breathing on this one is atrocious. I'm sorry, but I couldn't make it work. I mean, you can kind of fix it in post, but I'd rather have the lens have minimal focus breathing. And from my experience, Shure on the budget side is still the best in terms of focus breathing. I think the Sniper and the Nightwalkers have very minimal focus breathing, and I wish we could see it on the Viltrox lenses. Let's talk about autofocus, and I feel like this is one of the things that kind of surprised me. Now, for photography, it's very sticky. That's what she said. With the AI autofocus of the A6700, I feel like I could rely on it for photography because I can easily snap focus on the subject that I want to capture. Looking at the video side, this is where things get kind of weird. Now, I've noticed it on my first impression, and I've posted a story saying that I wouldn't wanna rely on this one in terms of video because one, it's choppy, and two, it kind of hunts. All right, so we're back at 1.2. I just have a white screen on here, and it's keeping pretty focused. We're at 7 speed, which is still pretty good. Now what we're gonna do is I'm kind of just gonna like block it with my hand, kind of like that, and then see if it catches me. Let's see if it catches a black object. That's pretty good actually. All right, at 1.2. So since the previous lenses that they sent me were pretty good in video autofocus, I was wondering why this one wasn't really doing it for me. It was choppy, it was slow, as you guys have seen in the sample footage or in the initial testing. So I emailed them and they got back to me with a firmware update. I think this is version 1.1.2 or 1.2. Anyways, so it's easy to do a firmware update with this lens. There's a USB-C on the mount and you can connect it to your computer, and all you have to do is just put the firmware update file onto that root and it automatically updates for you. But after the firmware update, it's been pretty good. It's super smooth and I don't think there's any sound that's coming anymore. So here's a few more autofocus testing after the firmware update. Try to listen to the audio. I don't think it's there anymore, but here it is. Cover my face. And I think it's very similar to the speed of the Transition Speed 5 compared to the 7 one, because the 7 one is super snappy. Here's the comparison between the two. The Sigma at roughly 27mm. This one is the Viltrox, both set at Transition Speed 7. Usually if you're using a Sony lens, this is super snappy and also very accurate and smooth. But with third-party lenses, it might not be as smooth as Sony glass. Even if it's a black subject as well, usually you need proper exposure, or at least you need a well-exposed subject so that the autofocus does really well. But in this case, we're testing out both dark, backlit, and certain scenarios that will test out the autofocus, and they both did really well. Now, overall, the firmware update did fix the video autofocus, and I can now recommend this lens to whoever wants a fast 35mm equivalent to full frame, and that it's not as chunky as it is. It reminds me of the size of a G Master and only for about $500. So you have a very versatile budget prime lens for your APS-C cameras. Now, overall, I think this lens is pretty amazing. The quality is insane. I mean, my friends and some of the content creators out there who's got it on the X mount, on the Fuji X mount, they have delivered really, really good photos and videos. So I can vouch for the image quality on this new Pro lens from Viltrox because it's sharp for photography, it renders pleasing skin tones, and that for video it's pretty good as well, and that this lens could potentially be the best APS-C lens out there for third-party manufacturers. It's very similar to the 16mm f1.8 from Viltrox, and that is pretty solid metal construction, and you've got a custom button on there as well, AF manual switch, and also an aperture ring. The size of it reminds me of a G Master lens. There's weather sealing as well, is similar to this guy. This is your 16mm weather sealing. I'm actually shooting with the FX3 right now, and if you're wondering how it would look like on a full frame camera, this is the vignette, and it's pretty good. If you do want to get rid of the vignette, you're gonna have to crop in maybe 1.2 or 1.3, and that's good coverage. Now, let's quickly talk about the distortion of this lens, and there's barely any. Now, let's take a look at the cabinet doors, and that we have a lot of straight lines on this one. And as you can see, there's just a tiny bit of barrel distortion. This passes even on the full frame side. Usually, if we're looking at it on a full frame camera, you can see kind of the warping on the corners. And we've shot this on 1.2 as well, and I don't see any issues in terms of distortion. And that's it. I do want to test this lens out a little bit more and bring it through my travels and see how it performs just run and gun travels with photo and video. Again, hopefully they do have a firmware update for the video, and I hope this video helped you out in case you are wanting to buy this lens. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.